exploring the latest trends in the consumer sector, the brands most preferred by customers, and the stories behind the names. Building a closer connection between a supersized consumer market and global brands. All eyes are on the 3rd China International Consumer Products Expo in Haikou, as leading brands gather to share insights and discover new opportunities from a China opening wider to the world. Join our special coverage of the event as we bring you an in-depth look at cutting-edge consumer trends that will shape a better life for the future. CGTN.
Welcome to the special coverage of Biz Talk on the 3rd China International Consumer Products Expo. Eyeing huge market opportunities, companies from home and abroad are gearing up to further tap the potential of one of the world's most promising consumer markets. As the country of honor, Italy is here with 147 brands and 1,800 square meters of exhibition area, more than double the numbers from last year. Now, to better understand the Sino-Italy economic relations and China's growing luxury goods market, we're joined by Paolo Bazzoni, chairman of the China-Italy Chamber of Commerce, as well as Stefania Lazzaroni, general manager of Fondazione Altagamma. Welcome. Now, first, let's cross to our reporter Wang Tianyu to check out the second pavilion at the Consumer Expo, where the Italian Exhibition Center is located, to see what is on display. Tianyu, what have you got for us?
Hi, Michelle. Hello there. And as you can see, it's very crowded here. I'm in the second hall of this year's Hainan Expo. And today we're talking about Italy. It's because it is the guest country of honor for this year's Hainan Expo. It has brought 147 brands to show their products and across an exhibition area of 1,800 square meters, which both the exhibition area and the number of brands are double from last year that the guest country of honor brought last year. If I remember correctly, last year was France, and the year before last year, which was the first year of Hainan Expo, it was Switzerland. Where I am right now is the booth that made by the China-Italy Chamber of Commerce, and it has brought around 20 members here to show their products, and I picked two most interesting ones. Let me bring you to their stands and show you their products. I can't promise you that I can pronounce their names correctly, because I don't read Italian, but I can show you their products. So, Miss Orso, right?
Yeah.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hi.
So, as you told me yesterday that this is your first fair in your life.
Yeah.
So, could you briefly introduce yourself and tell us why do you come here?
It's a very pleasure for me to be here. It's the first in my life, and we.
You can just show your products.
Yeah. We make a top quality level corset in luxury material. All the material from Italy and handmade, and we use realize total model in small size or big size, and all the model are in full grain calculator, very top quality.
You came here yesterday. You arrived here yesterday. You flew from Italy, right?
Yeah.
Why do you come here?
This is experience. Most important for me, for my job, for my career, to stay here.
But your products are not sold in China yet, right?
No, not yet.
You have any plan? Why you come here?
In Italy and Spain, and in Italy and Spain, and for me this is an important occasion for.
So you mean in the future that you want to expand?
In the future is probably if the Chinese market, okay, it's nice product for me. Is a pleasure to sell my product here.
You are an entrepreneur, and your brand is actually very young. Could you tell us how you create your brand?
I'm 28 years old, and I'm an interpreter from 1 year.
Is it handmade by yourself or?
Yeah, by myself and my power and a strong team.
Okay.
Yeah, in Torino. In Torino.
In Italy.
Yeah, Italy.
All right. Who designed this?
Yeah, me.
Yourself?
Yeah.
All of it?
Yeah, all the model from my pencil. Yeah.
So how do you feel about this event? Is there a lot of people in Italy like this?
Sorry, I don't.
How do you feel about this event? Like you see, it's very crowded, right?
Yeah, it's so big. It's wow, it's fantastic. A fantastic exposition. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
So much.
Hope you have a nice experience here. Thanks a lot. So let's move to our next stand, which is very close to this stand, and this one I'm sure that you guys will be very jealous of me because it's tasty food, it's ice cream. So I'm gonna talk to one of the representative here, and Mr. Xu, right?
Yes, sir.
Hi, Mr. Xu. Could you introduce yourself to our audience and tell us what you do?
Okay, thank you. My name is Richard Xu, the general manager of Carpigiani China. Carpigiani is famous for its gelato machine in the world. We are here set up in China in 2007. And we not only produce machine and provide to the market, but we also have a Gelato University China Training Center. That's why we bring the gelato culture and training to our market, to our people. The training mainly is food science technology, food hygiene, and food safety, and recipe design, something like this. So it's easy if you have learned 3 to 5 days, you can design your recipe and you can make best gelato.
That's awesome. Gelato is like an icon of Italy. So why don't we just try that out? Can I get it?
Yes, please try.
So
Gelato.
So what is this? What the flavor is this?
I think this is a nut.
Let's just try it out.
Yes.
I can't wait.
This is a fruit. 这是什么？啊？
Oh, it's peach. It's
Peach. So, the fruit one, we can see it's very low fat. So it's healthy than the soft ice cream because it's very low fat.
I see.
Beside that one, that is a nut maybe. But the fruit one, we can make a sorbet with 0 fat.
All right. Let me try. Let me have a try.
Yes.
I gotta say it's very good. Even though I'm not a big fan of ice cream. I don't eat a lot, but this one is
fresh. You know, we make normally we make gelato with fresh fruit, not
this one is so
chemical
good.
or something. So it's natural.
This one is so good. I can't deny this one is really good.
Yes.
I can't stop eating.
So we produce all kind of machines, and this one is new machine we imported from Italy, not produced yet.
So this is the second year that you
Yes,
brought
second
your
year.
machines here in Hainan Expo, right?
Yes.
So how do you feel about the event?
Now, this year we feel much better because I think that Chinese government issued a very important policy to Hainan. At least I know 59 countries with visa free. So I think not only for our domestic market, but also to the international market, I would say maybe there are more international customers will come to visit. So my expect is that through this expo, we will increase our export.
I'm sure there will be a lot of customers coming by your stand and try to get the ice cream. And I hope you have a great experience in the next few days.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for your time. So that's it. That's it for my part. And back to you, Michelle.
All right, Tianyu, thank you very much for that. Very much appreciated. So as we can see, there's a huge display area for Italy. There are 2 pavilions in the #2 exhibition area, and Italy, as we know, is the country of honor. So what does this mean for all the Italian companies showing up here this year at the Expo?
Well, thanks for the invitation, first of all. For us, it's a great honor and privilege to be here this year, 3rd edition, after last year there was not a very exciting year. Italy, country of honor. Italy united in display its excellences in industry, in brands, in quality and lifestyle. The delegation has been led by the Undersecretary Maria Tripodi. And this morning we open up the 2 Italian pavilions, one managed by ICE, okay, in collaboration with Fondazione Altagamma, and the other managed and organized by the Italian Chamber of Commerce, bringing physically 28 brands in a concrete way, showing all the best of Italian quality and lifestyle can offer right now in the domestic consumer market. So is a good sign, and also is a good sign that we want to be present, more visible, to penetrate this exciting market. Not easy to penetrate, but definitely still the bigger market in the world. And the revamping and the energy that we can see today is a good sign. As long as it's becoming stable and sustainable, but the company are ready, and the Italian quality and the Italian companies are ready to catch up and get more market share in this market.
Yeah, great. You've covered a lot of my following questions, actually, but let's first get back to Stefania. Stefania, so you give us some insights first into how your foundation has prepared for this exhibition, and what are you looking to get out of this Consumer Expo?
Okay, thank you very much. I'm honored to be here, and Fondazione Altagamma is a foundation that brings together the best Italian brands. We have 113 top luxury Italian brands, and a very diversified sector. We have brands in the fashion industry, design industry, but also food, hospitality, cars, automotive, yachting, and jewelry. So Hainan Expo at the 3rd edition, it has really become a major event. We're very happy to be here. It's our first year. And together with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and ICE, we have worked to best represent our luxury products, our luxury brands. How we do that? We decided to bring to Hainan one of the most amazing, immersive experiences that we implemented for the Expo in Italy, in Milano. And it's an immersive video, 360 degrees. So in a digital way, that's true, products are not there, but we really storytell the beauty of the country and the beauty of our products. The video is called Panorama. It's 11 minutes long, and you really get into experience because you enter the 360 degrees video that depicts the beauty of our country and all the best sightseeing tours. So it's just like doing a journey to Italy, which is the best, I would say, the best introduction to our products. Also, we linked this immersive video. Also, we linked this immersive video.
Sorry about interruption. Please continue.
No, it's fine. To an initiative that we did in China very recently, and we did it with ICE, which is a mini program WeChat, where 75 of our Italian luxury brands were involved. So you can see from Gucci to Moncler, from the Gritti Palace to Lamborghini and Ferrari, all the top brands have been involved in this program that creates a dialogue between our brands and the Chinese consumers. So yes, we're very honored and very happy to be here, Italy guest of honor, and that's why Altagamma for the first time partnered with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to represent at our best, our products and our brands.
Yeah, it's exciting just hearing these brands. I'm such a big fan of so many Italian luxury brands. So speaking of all these luxury brands, what are they hoping to get out of this exhibition? Are they bringing new designs and first release of their products, for example?
Well, at the moment, yes, of course, we are here to represent all of them as an association. We are here to better explain the heritage and the craftsmanship that is behind all of these brands. It is true that the Chinese consumers and the Chinese market has become a really key market for us. 1 out of 3, actually, luxury global brands, are chosen by a Chinese consumers, which means that this audience is very relevant for all of us. The domestic market, the Chinese domestic market is growing, and especially now that it has reopened post-COVID, it is expected to grow double-digit. So what we expect to enhance, the positioning, the awareness of our brands, and even further grow, of course, the relation among our two countries. We strongly believe that, as our Altagamma Bain study forecasts, that by 2030, 1 out of 2 luxury products will be bought by a Chinese consumer. This is a tremendous revolution. This is a great change. And this is why Italian companies are now closer and closer to the Chinese market, a market that is trusted to continue growing double-digit increase. Of course, last year it was a very unstable year, and the market decreased by 10%. But our estimates foresee a very brilliant year, and that's why it's very relevant that the opening of this brilliant new future, new phase of the development of the luxury Italian products within China is, inaugurated by the Expo in Hainan. That's why we decided to partner with the government to be here. And I'm sure if you go visit Panorama and our WeChat program, you can really see most of the most relevant Italian luxury brands, and it's really exciting, it's really interesting.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to check out the Panorama video in the Italian pavilion. I heard it's really breathtaking, actually. And it's so impressive. 1 in 3 Italian luxury brands is bought by a Chinese consumer. And it's double-digit growth. That's very, very quick growth considering the global economic conditions. And as you mentioned, Paolo, Italian brands are about quality and lifestyle, right? And that's also coincides with China's growing middle class and the improvement of Chinese consumers' tastes. I mean, they're growing at the same time, which is perfect for Italian companies.
Yes. Well, definitely this exhibition is focused on consumer products, high-end consumer products. That's why we are here to talk about luxury and lifestyle. But let me remind something about Italian industry in China. And as a chairman of the Italian Chamber of Commerce with more than 800 companies growing in the last years, we can experience what does it mean quality. Behind every brand, not only in luxury, not only in lifestyle, but also in mechanical, mechatronic, transition energy, healthcare, there is a company. Behind every company there is innovation, technology, quality, investments, and this represents the DNA of Italian industry. Small, medium, big enterprises, very well positioned as a global leader in the world. In this moment, China is reboosting its energy trying to recover a 2022 not nice, okay, but the premises are good, and we can experience today a good positive vibe, a good positive energy. As I said before, we need to keep a sustainable confidence, to sustain the confidence. For sure, these kind of products are appealing, and the more evoluted customer in China are more close to the Italian quality products in luxury, but also in lifestyle, also in industrial sectors.
Yeah. And on the other side, as you mentioned, confidence is important.
Absolutely.
Last couple of years have been hard for foreigners and foreign businesses in China, for sure. But this year, everybody is seeing a lot of hope and becoming more optimistic. So what do you expect, or what are you hoping that China's business environment how to improve in 2023 now that China is open again?
Well, the environment is based on some solid infrastructure and services. China, that I experienced, I'm here in China since 2007, so I saw at least 3 different grades of growth of China. Now it's time to maintain a sustainable, good level of environment. Let's say boosting the dialogues among the counterparts. I'm talking in a commercial way, I'm talking not in, I don't want to expand my talk in geopolitical, okay? But the dialogue is always a base to get better business. And once the dialogue is clear, the business companies, the business sentiment is getting better, and also the consumer confidence is getting better. So the business is growing.
Yeah. And you said you've been here for many years, 15 years, is it?
15 years, yes.
So recently, how would you describe China's business environment evolving in the past years? Well,
definitely the expectation and also the level of internal quality, standards quality, in all the sectors, I mean, raised the level. The competition is tough, definitely, but, you know, Italian companies are very well equipped because we get the leadership in the world in this kind of product, so we are ready to catch any opportunity. And in this moment, this is a good sign that in the year of the reopening, 3rd edition of the China Consumer Products, Italy is a country of honor. And we are here united. This is another sign, again, not divided. United, the system, you know, we got the ICE, Institutional Pavilion, and we got Italian Chamber of Commerce that is the reference of the Italian business in China. Yeah. So it's a good sign, and we are, let's say, positive about the restart.
You say you have more than 800 companies in the Italian Chamber of Commerce, right? From talking to all these company CEOs, how do you feel their confidence in China's environment this year?
Italian Chamber of Commerce, the mission of the Italian Chamber of Commerce is to support and sustain the companies, Italian companies in China, in order to enhance and find more business opportunity, give more services at any level, especially in the territories. That's why we grew up from 400 members in 2019 to almost 900 in 2022. Why? Because we are close to our companies on the territories. We opened 4 new offices to stay close to the companies. Stay close to the company, what does it mean? It means listen, support, promote them, and open new opportunities on the territories, talking with the local government for new opportunities. And this means also to create a bridge for potential new small, medium enterprises coming to China. So that's why I think this mission put into execution, like in every company, will generate value for the company in Italy and in China too.
Yeah. we'll get back to that. We'll talk more about
All
attracting
right.
more
Okay.
Italian companies into China. But let's get back to Stefania for a little bit. So we were talking about China's growing luxury markets, and I was very impressed with the numbers you were just talking about and the growth potential. I'm also very interested in the trend that we're seeing in China's consumer habits, especially in the luxury markets. What kind of significant trends are you observing in consumer tastes in China?
Well, the Chinese consumer, the Chinese market is relatively young, we could say, for the luxury market. And for example, in 2019, it represented 11% of the global luxury market. But by now, it is already 30%, and it is expected to become, as a domestic market, it is predicted to become 40% of the market. What we are seeing, is a tremendous growth and a tremendous desire for our Italian brands and for, in general, luxury brands. Usually, to appreciate luxury brands, there's a learning curve at the very beginning. You know, people are very attracted by the logos, the status, and so forth. But generally, after a few years, you know, what is really relevant are the values that the brands, represent, and also the quality, the craftsmanship that they express. Actually, the Chinese consumer has demonstrated that this learning curve has been very fast. It's a very dynamic consumer, a very young consumer, very savvy and informed digitally. And so it is actually impacting also the way we move along. If we start thinking that by 2030, 50% of our market will be Asian and strongly based on the Chinese consumer, of course, our Italian brands are changing the way they produce, the way they think about their products, to understand also the culture of this new set of consumers that for our brands, have become relevant in the past, I would say, 7-8 years. So what I'm implying is that there has always been a very strong link, but for luxury products, this market is becoming, one of the two major lungs for the market. And that's why, for example, Altagamma as a foundation, we are representing, of course, the ambassadors of the Italian style. Each of our brands is working with 200, SMEs on the territories that work, in the manufacturing of the product. But that's why I was saying we opened up an Altagamma club in Shanghai. What does it mean? We, as Paolo, was underlined, we are also contributing to reinforcing their relations with the local stakeholders, and we want our brands to create a team, to get to know each other, to build, initiatives that really can enhance the sense of the Italian lifestyle. And we're very happy, and I truly believe, as Paolo said, that we have to move along working as a system, working as a team. Times are mature to be really open-hearted, to be open source, and in the Chinese market especially, we're very ready to do so.
And in terms of demographic, are you seeing some shifting in China? Are there more younger, the Gen Z, shopping for luxury goods? I hear that the Gen Z represent a larger portion of the luxury consumer market in China than the rest of the world. Is that the case?
Absolutely, you're totally right. And to be very, to put it very bluntly, if we think about the luxury consumer, 10, 15 years ago, we usually depict, someone in their 50s, very well established, Anglo-Saxon generally, and so forth. Nowadays, the typical luxury consumer is Asian, in their 25, and very digitally savvy. And there's one data which really struck me when we discussed this data and the growth of the Gen Z for the luxury sector in general. The first purchase of luxury products is now down at 15 years old of age, which means that the youngest generations are the most influenced by the new digital media, and therefore they are easily attracted and they start getting into this world, way before. This is also a major change that is happening. So not only the geographies of our luxury sector has changed, but also the age of the consumer is dramatically impacting, the way we work. The age of the consumers are also dramatically changing the values that the new luxury is embodying. Because the new generations, as we all well know, are very much interested in climate change, in topics that are really relevant for the people, in protecting the life of the people. So what I'm meaning is that sustainability and the way our company works changed also because the values of the youngest consumers, and therefore also of the Chinese consumers, have changed. They are driving the change. They're driving the change of the Italian companies and all the luxury companies. Sustainability and the greater attention to the quality of the product, the durability of the product has become paramount. And this is not just greenwash, but it means that all of our companies are investing time and money and this to really change the way we've always worked, improving, our business model in order to really have the opportunity to offer products that are both of high quality, but also very respectful of the environment.
Mm-hmm. And also in the past couple of years, we're seeing a lot of Chinese brands and also a lot of luxury brands incorporating Chinese elements into their products. And there's also among this younger generation a big shift or a new enthusiasm into Chinese elements into their fashion. How do you think Italian luxury brands can kind of cooperate with Chinese companies or Chinese brands to better cater to this new desire or preference?
I think in the past 5-6 years, the fashion, for example, the fashion sector has changed and collaboration have become key. So it's now really, the mentality has changed and cooperating between different cultures is very, very common. And I believe that this will be the case for the Chinese creativity and our brands. So this is a great opportunity. We believe creativity is the focus of our companies. Our companies have been defined by the European Commission, cultural and creative companies. Cultural because they have a long-standing heritage, they have a history, a tradition, a manufacturing process that has been developed over centuries, but at the same time they're very creative. They have to change. And to be creative nowadays in a very global scenario, with cultures that are so different, means to open up to new stimulus, to welcome new creative energies, and it's already happening. And the brands who are present in China are incorporating these elements that, of course, allow the products to be more easily accepted, understood, and we are heading for a more holistic, let's say, new luxury approach, which is very and truly global and international.
Yeah, creativity is definitely the key, especially in this AI world, right, where a lot of things can be replaced by AI. So that's creativity is key for every industry and every person, especially these days. Now, let's talk about companies that are trying, Italian companies and also other foreign companies that are trying to tap into the Chinese consumer market, because we know China has a huge consumer market and a growing middle class population. Same for luxury brands, for lifestyle brands, as well as for industry brands. When they try to tap into the Chinese market, what are some of the most important considerations for these companies looking to have a presence in China? Paolo, let's start with you.
Well, China changed a lot in the last 15 years. consider that the majority of our company localized in China are here since more than 15 years. So they experience the sparkling China growing, starting from 2008, Beijing Olympics, 2010, and furthermore. So they're getting localized. What does it mean? The key success factor means local for local. This is for sure for industrial companies. Consider that 50% of our company localized in China are in the sector of components, mechanical components, industrial components for automotive, renewable energies, and these are very strong. You know, Italy is leader in the mechanical sector, precision. So, to be in China for China. The companies that are not yet in China, especially the small, medium enterprises, brands, second tier accessories, of course they can let's say, develop a presence in China, but they have to be very well equipped. What does it mean? I mean that they have to be prepared in terms of information to understand the market, and they cannot be alone. They have to come here supported by a system. System means we have a presence of, you know, our institutional presence, we have the Chamber of Commerce, and we have all the link also with the Italian Association. And also we can support and better give information and more opportunities. Then every company, of course, takes its own decision according to its own strategy. But you know, strategy can change according to external trends of the market. After last year, let's say, issues due to the COVID, lots of companies, let's say, rethought the strategy in order to be more effective and more efficient in China. This is for sure for industrial companies, but I bet also for consumer products, lifestyle, and in some cases also luxury brands, they have now, like Stefania mentioned, a regional strategy. You know, because China is one of the biggest country and market in the world, but Asia, ASEAN, together with China, is even bigger, and in the future will continue to grow. So the presence in terms of presidium, headquarters, marketing strategy, these kind of things are very important, very, very important. Last but not least, human capital. Because, you know, a company is made up of people, and people have to be focused and, you know, in line with the company strategy. So you have to engage the people with the right strategy, engage also the local Chinese management. All our companies embrace Chinese management. In some cases, the Chinese management lead the company, okay, and we have also some board of directors with some Italian presidium. This is the future, a more integrated dialogue in order to maintain the DNA of our Italian quality and lifestyle, but with a more flexible execution for the Chinese market.
So this is when you come in, right? You provide the information, you help them with the human capital.
Yeah, we can support information, advice, and also contacts. This is our mission. Yeah. And by the way, lots of the companies that are part of Altagamma Foundation are members of the Italian Chamber of Commerce, because we are not, we are partnering for Brand in Italy. Huh? Yeah. So this is why the system is very strong right now in China.
Yeah. Stefania, what's your take on this? What do you think are the most important things to consider when coming into the Chinese markets? I'm sure there are still a lot of Italian luxury brands that haven't entered China yet, or some niche brands that you know, Chinese customer might be very interested into.
Yeah, exactly. The Chinese market is very complex. It's very big. And here I really agree with what Paolo just said. You know, of course, even our 113 top luxury Italian brands, you know, not all of them have the dimension to really face a market which is so huge and has such a big potential. So we need, even for Altagamma, there's a need to help, you know, some fashion brands and even the niche brands that want to enter the market. So we have the same kind of experience. We liaise with every Italian stakeholder already on the territory, meaning the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but of course also the structure that Paolo is managing, because dimension is key. And as you know, the Italian companies, thinking about luxury especially, we do not have major, you know, financial conglomerates. Think about France with LVMH and Kering. We are mainly, you know, individual big brands facing, you know, the global markets, and that's why there's even more. It's even more important to unite in order to face, you know, the challenges of such a huge market. We have brands in the fashion arena, especially, that have been in China for 20 years and they have a long-standing experience. And we have about 40 brands who have subsidiaries based in China. But for the others, that's not the case. And that's why, for example, with our WeChat mini program, we had the opportunity to communicate those 40 brands based in China, but also the other 35 brands that, for example, didn't have, you know, a stable, how can I say, a stable presidency of this market. So we do need to reinforce and strengthen our relation, because as I said, Italian brands have an amazing opportunity, have an amazing, you know, positioning and awareness, but the dimension is also needed. The financial tools to face such a challenging market are really important. And as Paolo said, probably we need to find them even on the ground with, you know, opportunities to partner with local partners. So yeah.
And in terms of, you know, sectors, what do you think are some of the most attractive sectors for Italian companies to invest into China? Because you have 800, more than 800 companies probably in many sectors in China.
Well, the mix of the Italian companies already in China covers all the value proposition, the best value proposition of Italy. As I mentioned before, mechanical components, mechatronic, transition energy, lifestyle, agriculture, food and beverage, lifestyle, of course, fashion, design. If you mix this mix with the territory, the big continent of China, you find immediately a differentiation also in terms of territories. Because one thing is to talk about consumer expectations and needs in Shanghai. Another thing is to talk about consumer expectation in Chengdu. Another thing is to talk about industrial environment in Suzhou or in Shenzhen. So we believe that Italy have to maintain the gap working in high quality, whatever we make, in fashion, in industry. But in order to maintain high quality, we need also to have locally the right environment and support. For sure, an example of Hainan is some facilitation in trade and fiscal.
Yeah, the Hainan Free Trade
Hainan
Port,
Free
right?
Trade Port, this, for instance, for Hainan is a plus. But this has to go together with some also local services. Education, for instance. Education. In order to attract new investment, you have to have an environment open for education, because sometimes, you know, management is coming, new people. This is very important. and infrastructure. Infrastructure, China is already well advanced, but you know, this is a plus. So the opportunities are a lot, but we have to be, as a company point of view, very careful in evaluate, judging, and then push the right button for new investment. This is why we are here to support, together with the system, the new potential investment, also the Italian companies.
Yeah. Like you said, right, demand in different cities are totally different.
Yes.
It's a huge country with many tiers. It's like a continent.
It's a region continent.
Yeah. Is it a developing country? Is it a developed country? It really depends on what city we're talking about. Beijing and some third-tier city is completely different.
Like Stefania said, also the expectation for the luxury products are still young, you know, the China in some way. So maybe there are some evoluted part of China that is already at the level maybe of Western country, but the majority is still moving from the country, and so they have to be educated.
That's a very interesting point. Stefania, what's your view on this? So basically, we're talking about how, you know, China has so many different tiers of cities and different you know, consumer base and different target consumer groups. How should luxury brands position themselves to be able to penetrate all different layers of you know, China's cities and societies? Okay, I think we might have lost the signal with Stefania, so let's get back to you, Paulo. Sorry about that. I was trying to get her back in a minute. So we're just talking about like different tiers of cities in China and huge market potential, a lot of different demands for Italian brands and companies. But one thing you were talking about, and that coincides with China's development plan, is, you know, a more upgraded growth, more high quality growth. So Italian brands represent high quality products. So, and also China is very much focused on sustainable development, sustainable growth. How do you see that Italian companies can maybe help in that China's development in that direction in terms of sustainability?
As much as the China is moving up to the more
value chain,
the more let's say expectation in terms of quality, in terms of performances, also not only in the luxury or lifestyle, but also in terms of industrial, as more as the matching is getting better, because we are already at the top. And you know, when you are at the top, you can talk with a high level expectation. If you talk with low level expectation, you don't really talk.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's why I believe Italy has to maintain the level of quality and continue to invest in order to maintain this competitive advantage gap. And maintaining this leading position, it will be able to attract more customer and more attention. Second point, the territorial presence. Very, very important, because Beijing, Shanghai, yes, but Shenzhen, Chengdu, Chongqing as well, Wuhan as well. So let's know better China in order to do better business.
You've traveled a lot in China, haven't you?
I travel,
so you know all these different
I'm
cities.
like a pigeon. You know, I lived in Beijing 7 years. Now my home family residence is Chongqing.
Oh, wow.
But I stayed during the weekend.
Okay.
And then I travel mainly
everywhere.
Beijing, Shanghai, and then the south very often.
So you like spicy food in Chongqing?
Of course.
Oh yeah?
Of course. Malamian, liang mian. I'm fancy of this. But to match only with Italian wine. please.
I'm a big fan also for Italian wine.
A good Lambrusco with Malamienne is
with
perfect.
hot pot also.
Gasparosa,
Goes with everything. Yeah, no, Italian food and wine. I would die for some Italian wine right now. So I heard Stefania is back online. Do you hear us, Stefania? So we were talking about how, you know, Italian companies need to consider the different tiers of cities in China to able to penetrate the entire market. How does that work for luxury brands? Is that the same consideration for luxury brands? And also, you know, the Chinese consumer, their tastes are very different in different tier cities. So how does that take into consideration for these companies?
Even for luxury companies, it's a process of education because, as you said, you know, China is a continent. I was mentioning before that, you know, of course, for luxury companies, especially, digital is very relevant. But in a way, you know, the luxury products, even if digital has doubled, and so during COVID, the market, the digital expansion of a product is easy. For luxury brands, digital is not enough. For luxury brands, you know, shops, retails, and the experience that you do with the brand is very relevant, which means that you have to be present. You have to have a physical presence, not only in Shanghai, but also in the other, you know, geography that are developing. This means that the biggest brands are already there. They are studying, you know, the market. They are making their physical presence in the market. But the medium-sized brands, you know, might struggle, and that's why the penetration of the Italian luxury into the Chinese market has to be gradual and you know, helped, and we will need a bigger dimension to do that. Even if our major brands are so loved, they are so iconic, that of course they have the desirability, but now we need to put in place a lot of structural changes to actually be present. You were also mentioning wine, and there are a lot of sectors such as wine who also have a huge potential. Our president, Matteo Lunelli, is a winemaker, and China still is not one of the, you know, top markets for our amazing products. So the potential is there. I believe we should you know, continuous investments, you know, in the country to be present there. And we also need support to the medium-sized brands. It's an amazing market. It's huge. We are still at the beginning. I just want to mention, if
definitely.
I may.
One last question. It's getting, please do. Yes, of course.
Just one thing is that the luxury compact is grew by 22% here globally, which means that the emerging markets, the new markets like Asian markets, are really making the most and are really the big driver. So it's a solid market who has the financial and the dimension to face the big challenges. And the Chinese market is one of these challenges, both culturally, geographically, and as a country that needs a lot of investments, because we need to be physically also present there.
And one last question before I let you go. So what are some of your future plans in terms of helping these luxury companies in China, and what are some of your advices to them?
Well, what we do, we provide them with studies. You know, our consultancy like Bain, Boston Consulting are preparing a lot of market studies to help our brands face, you know, these major challenges. Also in our strategies, the international markets are of course key. And that's why we created this Altagamma Club in Shanghai. And we are, how can I say, devising new initiatives as a system, pulling together different brands and presenting ourselves as an Italian lifestyle and one single brand. So we're really helping our brands to work together and present themselves not only as a single individual brands, but as a made in Italy product. That's what we want to do, to make our presence in China even more effective and cohesive. Italians haven't been very good at being cohesive in the past, especially in the luxury business, but I think times have changed and there's a lot of cooperation now. Really, the culture in Italy and in the way we face our foreign challenges has changed. So I really hope that in China this will be even more strengthened.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And Paolo, same question to you. One last question. Your future plans?
Well,
this
future
year.
plans is to be focused and very well determined in what we have done so far, especially in the last year and the beginning of this year, in order to stay close to our companies in China, listen their needs, and support them on a concrete way. We are business people. All the board of directors are businessmen and women, so we are very close to the company. So services, raise the quality of services and information, open the links with Italy. We already have a collaboration with Confindustria, with the regions, with all the agency for promotion in order to protect, escort and advise the new small medium enterprises that want to come to China. These are the plans, and of course participate as a system, because as more we are system, as better and strong we are, especially in this big market. Participate as a system in more occasions like this in order to boost and raise the level of Italian quality, Italian made in Italy, in China.
Very well said. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
I know
you.
it's really hot in
really
Hainan and very
It's
hot
really
in the
hot
studio,
today,
so
yes.
really appreciate.
Thank you.
Was Paolo and Stephanie for being on. Thanks so much, you guys, for being on our show. We really appreciate your time. And as we talked about, China is a huge consumer market with great potentials. China has reiterated many times in recent weeks that it will continue to open up and create a better business environment for foreign companies and investors. So let's all hope that the post-pandemic years will be full of opportunities for everybody. I'm Michelle Vandenberg. Thank you for watching, and that will be it for this edition of Biz Talk. Bye for now.